Welcome to the Water Dragon. I'm sure you guys can hear me. Welcome to the Water Dragon. Welcome to the Water Dragon. This is Melissa. Let's get into it. So this segment, so we're in week 4. And in this segment, we get into the art and practice of astral projection by Ophiel. We really dissect the book and get into exactly what the author is talking about. In this book, I jumped right into the dream method. I will go back to the little method possibly next week. But I was called and drawn to go into the dream method. And so it is. I'm on the dream method. So let's keep going. Let's go. Okay, welcome back. Today is Friday, 9/9/2022, week 4, the art and projection of astral projection by Ophiel. Okay, let's see. Okay, I have to record this. Recording in progress. Starting again. And here we go. Okay, introduction. Astral. Hold on, let's go back real quick. I just want to say for my recording, it is 9/9/2022, week 4. Welcome back. Today is Friday, the art and practice of astral projection. This is all these slides are going to be about, and yes, tomorrow's going to be part 2. And part 2, I finish up astral projection, and then I go back to the little method, because the little method also speaks about basically cultivating the inner world. And that's what the astral projection is all about. So let's go into it. Okay, intro. Ascension is the goal of this lifetime for those who are spiritually awakened. So we need to come to the understanding and knowing we don't exist, yet we are very real. Yes, we are real, yet the physical form is an illusion. You are not your mind and you are not your body. These are actual tools available to your authentic inner self, consciousness, or pure being. These different words all indicate the same thing, and that thing is experienced as pure presence by Kevin Fulton. So no, humanity, we're not our mind, we're not our body, we're simply the consciousness, awareness. Okay, so this is our authentic inner self, also known as the consciousness, pure being, also awareness. That is what ascension is to rise beyond the physical form. You are no longer limited by your mind. You are no longer limited by your physical body. You know that the physical body and the mind was created by consciousness. We've even gone as far as saying that the consciousness has even created the soul that exists in the physical form, because all there is the all, which is simply the nothingness, which is the all. Is I am and that I am. I'm everything and nothing all at the same time. The potential is infinite. You're simply consciousness in a physical existence. And ascension is to say that you understand you're not just the physical form. The physical form is one layer of existence. And we're here to cultivate the inner, because everything, as above, so below, as within it. So without, so cultivating the inner layer reflects outside. I mean, it goes deep. Hopefully you guys are, paying attention. This is week 4. So it's a series. It's a book study. Let's continue. Okay, this is from last week, basically. The physical body. Consciousness is everything. Knowing you are the pure being that observes itself in a physical form. We are observers. We are literally a consciousness that conducts its own life force energy. Consciousness creates its own soul. This was all downloaded to me because the book, Astral Projection, got very deep, very deep. Astral Projection is the very basic of basic knowledge in spirituality, really. So understanding consciousness will make you understand the whole of the world, the whole of your existence. Okay, so once again, consciousness is everything. Knowing you are pure being that observes itself in a physical form, we are observers. So that is literally what the third eye, first eye that everyone is talking about means, is that you're observing. You're just an eye. You're an observer. You're just an awareness, a very powerful awareness at the end of the day. And that awareness can be broken down as well. So just saying we're an awareness is my understanding that that's just the very basics, because we don't even understand that much. So we are literally a consciousness that conducts its own life force energy. Consciousness creates its own soul. Consciousness is the all greater than the soul. Humanity, we are simply eyes looking into our own reality to learn lessons. We are literally the nothingness. The nothingness is consciousness. So that's what I mean by nothingness. We are nothingness. We don't exist. We do not exist. We pretend we create this physical form. That's how powerful we are. We create our existence. So it's a whole process, understanding. So we create a physical form simply to learn lessons. That's why you have incarnated in this physical form. Once again, you are not victim of your life, your own manifestations. Okay, create now humanity with deliberate purpose. Now that you know this, go into your meditations, look into weeks 1, 2, and 3. We get down on that, and that's what it is. Know that you are the power that be. Okay, this is also from last week. Presence, attention, and intention. Okay, so I'm kind of just bringing this up again. Presence is passive, the now, the state of fact of existence, occurring. Example, you may simply enjoy the presence of pure being. So just being consciousness, which is what meditation is. Just being in pure consciousness, pure awareness. Now, attention is giving action to the presence. You're having attention, you're paying attention. You're not simply existing and occurring. So that attention is active. So that's concentrating on a discrete aspect of awareness. The example for that would be focusing your awareness on your intention while experiencing the state of presence. Be very clear about your deeply felt desires. Intentions. So that's also active. So you're using your attention to create an intention, or rather have intention. Okay, have intentions for your attention. So an example of intention, which is active, is deliberate focus around your purpose. Then you will find them manifesting with effortless ease. This is also law of attraction. This is like when we're getting into the very, 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 the truth about law of attraction, cultivating the inner. That is exactly what this book astral projection is cultivating the inner world consciousness, knowing that consciousness is all you are. Cultivating the inner world has nothing to do with projecting the spirit and astral, anything. It's simply consciousness, awareness, and shifting consciousness. So you have to know presence, attention, and intention. And all of this prior, if you looked into week 1, 2, and 3, we speak of it, the power and the key to this. Okay, I'm sure there's many other keys, but one of the main keys that I use is meditation. Meditation helps you tap into the glory, which is you. Okay, so this is pretty busy, this one right here. But this one reiterates also last week's. Okay, let me hear, make sure you guys can. Okay, so if the above is true, why don't we remember your nightly projections? Okay, so you guys have to really pay attention to this segment. The segment took me a while today. I've been reading it all week. I have this condition where I have to break it down. It has to make sense. So this is a study group. These are my slides. This is how I study. This is how I see things. I recap, I reiterate, I review, and then I do, So I actually want to practice this all this week, yet still on Friday, we'll get into the little method, which was before the dream method. But we're doing it like this because astral projection, like I said, is a little different, a little harder. Okay, so if the above is true, why don't we remember your nightly projections? The reason why you don't remember is that the bulk of your consciousness is in the physical body and remains there most all your life unless you consciously transfer it elsewhere. And now you have the secret of astral projection in a nutshell. Astral projection, what is it? You do not project an etheric body or an astral body. You do not project anything. All you do is to transfer consciousness to another body other than the physical. That is all you're doing. You're transferring your consciousness. So that goes back to knowing that you are simply consciousness is everything, knowing you are the pure being that observes itself in a physical form. You are observers. You are literally a consciousness that conducts its own life force. So you have to understand that. Once you understand that, you can understand what projection means. Astral projection means you're projecting your consciousness into different layers of body. So right now, I'm in my physical awareness. I only understand the physical awareness at this time because I'm only here. So my awareness is only here in the physical. But then you have an etherical body. So you tap into that etherical body. Then you can manipulate that. And manipulating your etherical body affects the physical body. So what you do consciously by shifting consciousness to the etherical body affects the physical body. If you guys remember, that's why I spent a lot of time last week on the different layers of body. The different layers of body are also different layers of plane, which your consciousness shifts to. Your consciousness shifts to these different layers of plane. This is the very basics of spirituality, the very basics of occult hidden knowledge. This is the very basics of why you exist, and knowing that everything is consciousness. Consciousness is manipulated. No, rather, energy is manipulated by your consciousness. Everything is consciousness. So tapping into the different aspects of your existence is what matters. Okay. You do not project an etheric body or an astral body. You do not project anything. All you do is to transfer consciousness to another body other than the physical. Okay, so we're doing the dream method. My schedule, I just changed it because I was just drawn to going straight into the dream. Let's do the dream. Okay, so the art and practice of astral projection by Ophiel. So pay attention here, people, because I had to really take my time, break down the different parts of it. and it gets deep. Okay, so the dream method. The author specifies practice so much in this book, not only theory, but to know how to do the practice art yourself. Specifically, how to release yourself from the physical body and how to get back again has always been a great mystery. Okay, so the author, I'm just saying that he gets real specific on how to do this. How do you project your consciousness into different aspects of your existence, different layers of bodies, which is the different layers of your existence. You're just physical, so you think you're only physical. Your consciousness awareness is only in your physical body, so you think you're only a physical body, but you're actually the etherical body, you're also the astral body, you're also the mental body. Then there's aspects of you who are beyond the consciousness. So it gets really deep. Okay, so he teaches, like I said, the author specifies practice so much in this book, not only theory. That's why he specifies practice, meaning how to do it. Okay, but to know how to do the practice of astral projection. Okay, let's keep going. He speaks of Mr. Oliver Fox, an author who has written about the art and practice of astral projection. He says an early self-taught pioneer of independent studies in astral projection. That's what he says that Oliver Fox is. I haven't really looked into him. I was gonna look into him, and I was like, let's just keep going. You know, that's his taste, his view. You guys can look into Mr. Oliver Fox in your own time. In the early 1920s, Mr. Oliver Fox wrote a book called Astral Projection. He teaches the dream method. He had 30 years of experience before writing and teaching art. Dream method. Okay. Before the real astral plane is reached, we jump right into it. That was a little bit about him. Like I said, you can go in your own time and look up Mr. Oliver Fox. Jumping right into it. Before the real astral plane is reached, there is definitely another plane that exists before the astral plane, called the etheric plane, right? Like I said last week, we got into the planes a little bit. Come to recognize the planes by the scenery that you are viewing. When you make any projection, you first hit the etheric plane. What I want you to remember now is that your first arrival on the inner planes will very likely be the etheric plane. Be prepared for this fact. So what I bulletin the most that I really want you guys to know, and what I'm like knowing myself, is come to recognizing the planes by the scenery that you are viewing. When you make any projection, you first hit the etheric plane. So you have to start to know the scenery, how it looks. You have to start feeling, sensing, knowing the field. Okay. Let me see. Sorry. Okay. So sorry about that train of thought. I got a text. Anyway, so come to recognize the planes by the scenery, okay? The viewing, when you make any projection, you first hit the etheric plane. That's what he says. So get to know these, how it feels when you're projecting. An occult secret that he points out in this book is, it seems to be true that there is another life. This is where it gets really deep over there, okay? That you live when you sleep here. So when you sleep here, there's another life there. He says you will discover it for yourself as you progress in this work, okay? He says you have to develop this life over there. Remember, the inner world, quote unquote, over there affects the physical world over here. Knowing that your consciousness, and you're shifting different consciousness awareness. So your consciousness here, you fix here. So you think just the physical realm affects your reality, and there's no other way. That's why going within so deep that you understand you exist multidimensionally. That's where we're going. Multi-dimensional means different planes of existence, the etherical plane, the astral plane. That's what that means. So he's saying to you that over there, quote unquote, the other plane, you live when you sleep. Here, hold on, let me read it over again. An occult secret, a hidden secret. So it's like a hidden secret, all right, that he pointed out in the book is, it seems to be true that there is another life over there that you live when you sleep. Here, he says, you will discover it for yourself as you progress in this work. You will discover this, okay? You do this, you practice, you get this going, and you discover this. And tell me, did it work? What do you see? I'm practicing it. I'm working my ass off here. He says you have to develop this life over there. Okay. The author states you do have a body over there now. You have a body in every single plane. Why? Because you are multidimensional. This is the physical plane. This is the last plane. If you guys go back to week 3, I talk about it being the last plane. The physical plane is the end result, is the very last plane. Okay, so you want to tap into those inner planes and become integrate into the different bodies of planes that exist over there, so you can exist over here happily, because you can very much do a lot of magical things here in the physical form by tapping into your existence in multidimensional layers, because you exist multidimensionally and infinitely. That's what that means. That is what ascension is. Remember, you are not the mind, you are not the body, you are simply existence. The other states you do have a body over there now. You have a body in every plane. To actually live this over there, your consciousness awareness has to expand to a certain level of degree on that other side to be there. So you have to have a certain awareness to exist in any plane, to exist in the physical plane. That's why you only think this plane is here, because your expansion of the physical plane is expansive enough to exist right here. But now you have to bring forth your awareness to the expansive awareness of the plane from within, the etherical plane, the astral plane, the mental plane. The planes are infinite. There's more than 3 layers. It's infinite. Okay, you're simply consciousness. Remember this. You have to organize this other body and organize this other life for action and movement before you can participate in the full benefits of that life over there. So what's over there affects over here, as above, so below, as within, so without. So that inner plane affects the outer world. Ascension, people, ascension, rise again, humanity. Know that you exist multidimensionally and infinitely because you're simply consciousness. The dream method. A great many of things that can be done over there can affect the physical world here. Once again, let's repeat that again. A great many of things that can be done over there can affect the physical world here. It is very possible to build a life over there that can influence here very strongly. Many highly developed persons do so unconsciously. So the author is convinced that all the great successes of this physical life right here have done this second life building. And it is this second life that gives them the drive and inspiration and power to carry on here, etc. Okay, we are multidimensional. The physical plane is the end result, the end instrument. Okay, no, we are multidimensional. So we tap in and out of this, some of us, because we're so old and we just do things like, it all depends. We're multidimensional. Tap in and find out. Okay, so the dream method, how do we do it? Dream method, how to start of instructions. So in the dream method, he teaches you learn how to remember your dreams, learn how to recognize that you are dreaming, learn what you have to develop in order to know that you are dreaming, and learn how to wake up in a dream and start a projection. Let's get into it, people. Let's get into it. At any time when you watch this over, guys, please stop the video, read my slides, go back and forth, you know, input more stuff like, hey, Melissa, this is what else I know. This is what else I see. This is what else. Let's make this a community because it's going to get deep. It's going to get deep here. Okay. How's the first one? Remember how to remember your dream. Know that everyone dreams, even animals. You know, in the book, he gets into details about that. I just picked what really matters the most that I can. So we're not, you know, things that really need to be fixated. That's why I make bullets for the ones that really, the bullets on the slides of the things that we need in order to understand this book. Okay. How to remember your dreams. First bulletin, know that everyone dreams, even animals. 2, critical observation is the main factor, key in this work of recovering your dreams. So he gets into critical observation. And he's basically, he breaks down critical and says critical observation is judging. You have to get into judging your dreams. Most people do not think twice about their dream. They'll have a weird dream. They won't think about it and they keep it going. But you have to think about your dreams. Start thinking of being aware of your awareness. Concentrate on the memory of your dream. Write down what write down what you remember as fast as you can in a dream journal. Write down keywords and sentences to recall details later. Write down keywords and sentences to recall details later. Okay, guys? That is very powerful to be aware of awareness. Okay? So the first thing is here is to remember how to remember your dream. Write them down. Write them down. That's how you're going to remember them and write details. Okay, keep records of your dreams. How to dream journal. Have a dream journal at the bedside. First thing in the morning, you wake up, write down what you remember. Details, specific details. Okay, write down as many details of your dreams as possible. Make sure you keep good records of your dreams. Have a dream journal. Okay, make sure you keep good records of your dreams. Okay, makes it so you get in the habit of recalling your dreams later. This is the technique of dream recovery. So writing down your dreams gets you in the habit of recalling your dreams because you're like, oh, I remember this. Oh, I remember that. Oh, this and that and the other thing, right? Okay, that's the whole purpose of that. That technique is to learn how to recall your dream, how to remember your dreams. Okay, once again, keep records of your dream after having a number of dreams, writing down, going back and studying your dreams thoroughly. Notice you are more willing to accept outrageous events and situations and not have a second thought about it. Okay, now learn how to recognize you are dreaming. That's part 2. He gets into, like I said before, it was critical observation. This one he calls it critical facility. Critical facility is required to enable you to recognize any strange dream sights, scenes, and to act on it. Critical facility. So critical, right? Critical comes from, he says, I haven't looked at it myself, but just breaking it down how he put it makes complete sense. Critical comes from the word judge. Judge is an adjustment, judge a thing, equals making adjustment in your opinions of details about details of things. And that's very relevant because that's to say, like, when you're in a dream, most people will see like a big turkey running over a mouse or like an elephant eating a truck. You don't, it's a dream. So you're like, okay, whatever. So this part is learning how to recognize you are in a dream. How do you do that? When you see something crazy like that, because in real life, you'd be like, hold up, the elephant can't eat no truck, right? So that's what that critical facility is. That's what that was all about when he said that. Critical facility. So critical is the judge. That's what we do as people. It is what it is. It has to make sense to us, right? A critical facility is required to enable you to recognize any strange dream sights, scenes, and to act on it. Critical facility, to act on it as well. So you critical, so you're gonna judge it. You're like, what? That doesn't make sense. And you know, some of our dreams be crazy. Judge is adjustment, right? Okay. And then I put adjustment. Judge a thing equals making adjustment in your opinion of details and about details of things. Okay, critical facility is closely allied to waking life. That's what is basically, because that's what you do when you're waking life. Really, it's a survival mechanism, I feel, because you see things, you know, because we look for patterns in our life, in our daily life, that just goes with the daily routine, just existence, you know, comes with that, especially in the physical realm. The physical realm can be very limited sometimes, like that. So you naturally, in the waking state, you judge, you look. We're not talking about judging people necessarily, we're just judging a scenario. If you saw a freaking elephant eating a truck, you're going to be like, what? That doesn't make sense. You're going to judge that. You know, you're going to judge that, and then you're going to adjust your opinion above the details of what you've just seen. Like, what? Right? Anyway, critical facility is closely allied to waking life. Your work is to bring this critical facility to bear on your inner dream life. So you're bringing this to your dream life. You're bringing the thinking critical facility, the judgments, into your dream life. You're not going to just be passive dreamers, see crazy stuff, and that's just a dream. What about it, though? What about that dream? Judge it. What does it mean? Or at least write it down. Get in the habit of writing it down, cultivating that awareness. That's how you're going to learn when you're dreaming. That was part 2. Learn how to know when you're dreaming. Right? Remember, astral projections, you do not project anything but consciousness. Okay? Your consciousness, by means of directions to be given and by practicing them. You will, in time, learn to project a large degree of your consciousness to the inner planes and still remain asleep. That's the whole point. Remember, once again, I'm going to reiterate this. We are simply observers. We are not the physical body. We are not the mind. We are not only the etheric. We are multi-dimensional, different planes of existence. Different planes. So to an extent, asking if the world is flat or circle is kind of barbaric, because it's just a plane. It could be a triangle. Let me not get into it. I don't want to get nobody mad. But if your consciousness, and this is simply a plane, gets really deep. This is for those of us that are spiritually awakening. Okay, when we're tapping in and we're awakening and we're not afraid to ask questions. Ask questions. Remember, astral projection, you do not project anything but consciousness. Okay, your consciousness by means of direction to be given, and by practicing them, you will in time learn to project a large degree of your consciousness in the inner planes and still remain asleep. So that goes into like where he speaks about, in order to cultivate the other bodies and other planes, you have to learn how to project that consciousness and have a certain degree of awareness within that existence, in order to manipulate that existence, in order for it to affect this physical realm. Okay, so that makes sense now why he says like you have to be able to manipulate the one plane before you go into the next plane. You know, it's a process, and you should take your time. That's definitely what I'll be doing, taking my time in the process in order to be able to manipulate the planes. All right, let's get going. Okay, remember, astral projection, you do not, I reiterate this again, because I think I go into explaining it a little bit. Yeah. Okay, so astral projections, you do not project anything but consciousness. Once again, you're simply consciousness. Your consciousness. You are consciousness. By means of the direction by which given and by practicing them, you will in time learn to project a large degree of your consciousness to the inner planes and still remain asleep. This is also connected very closely with what was said previously about developing another body on the inner planes. The inner planes control the physical realm. Get cultivated, get intuitive, find out more about your inner plane, your consciousness, your awareness, your universe, because you have a universe all your own within your body. That is what consciousness is. That is what the third eye is simply awareness, is simply the eye of you. Okay, guys, that is it. It's very simple today because I have a lot to cover tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm gonna get into the little plane. I started on the bigger plane, not the bigger plane, a dream method, because he speaks of 3 methods: the dream method. He speaks of the little method, the dream method, the light method, and the symbol method, the light body method and the symbol method. Okay, so to be continued tomorrow. Much love to you all. Thank you for all who watch my videos. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Much love to you all. Much love to you all. So we're gonna get into it tomorrow. Why is this playing? I guess I don't want to play. Anyway, it's supposed to be the ocean. Because I am the water dragon. I resonate with the water. Tomorrow I might make a video about a lot of things I feel like speaking on. I really do feel like talking to people. Oh, it's going to be a full moon, guys. So, look into the full moon. It's the full moon started already. Because, it is what it is. It's out there. Make your affirmation. And from my understanding, it's a full moon in Pisces. Double check that. I'm not an astrologer, but from my understanding, it is a full moon in Pisces. All right, guys, much love to you all. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. See you.